Matt Hardy and his wife going 2-on-1 against Jim Cornette. Bryan debunking a rumor about his contract expiring, and SmackDown leaving Fox. This is Wrestling Up. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for May 3rd. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Up and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. On Sunday, Matt Hardy put out a tweet that read, "If you read or watch someone's take and you dislike it, why would you waste any of your time to negatively comment on it? This is odd. Move on. People believe differently than you, whether you accept it or not. Unless someone's being unethical and immoral, let people live their life." This led to a fan asking about Jim Cornette's criticism, with Hardy responding, "In the past, I've responded to some of his cult over the broken Matt hate to enhance my heel persona. Done with that. Diehard AEW fans view me as a heel, so I'm just gonna be me, be real going forward. Had great respect for JC early on, not into his current shock jock gig." This led to a reaction from Cornette, who wrote, "Not a gig, Matt, just my real opinion since I'm done with this dog and pony show some of you guys call wrestling these days. A shame what's happened to the business. Had great respect for you when you didn't teleport to other dimensions and change clothes in an ice machine." Hardy then simply said, "To each their own. You're entitled to your opinion and I'm entitled to mine." Hardy's wife replied with a video of Cornette facing Cowabunga, a man in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle outfit in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Hardy would respond to that video saying, "Sorry I've enabled the dog and pony show in the biz. Ladies and gents, my apologies," which led to his wife writing, "Clowns usually love the circus. What's wrong, Jim?" This led to Cornette tweeting, "I was speaking to your husband, who I've known for some time. You obviously don't know me. Some people are intimidated by your tongue lashings. I'm not. Stay in your lane, chickadee. You're dealing with a professional. I don't play nice." Hardy would write, "The clock keeps moving forward. Times will always change. Either you adapt and change with them, or you end up stuck living in the past." As Cornette responded, "Your principles will always be tested by people who care more about fame than integrity or money instead of what's right. Cash in and be a whore, or stand up for what you believe in and have a bunch of stupid idiots say you can't change. Words of wisdom. Also, don't do stupid stuff." Hardy would reply, "My principles have never been better, Jim. I believe in enjoying life and providing the absolute best for my family. That's what I'm doing. I'll keep doing that regardless of you. You hate and are done with AEW, you'll keep watching. You have to. It fuels your shock jock gig." With him no longer on SmackDown and his profile page on WWE.com being in the alumni section, Bryan talked about reports of his contract expiring with TV Line. "It's funny that people gravitate towards the date September, and I think it's because that's when my last contract ended, but it doesn't end in September." Note Bryan was tight-lipped about when his contract actually runs out. "I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like. I had a tag team match on SmackDown last Friday, and it was a lot of fun, but my neck was just wrecked. I'm going to be 40 in May, and my daughter likes to get on my shoulders to pick leaves from a Japanese maple in front of our house. You get to the point where it's like, how long can I do this full time and still be able to do those kinds of things with my daughter? What's the right balance between part-time and that sort of thing? It may be that it's just every once in a while when the urge strikes, or maybe like a schedule where it's like 8 months on, these months off." One of the coolest things about wrestling and just being an independent contractor in general is that you can say, "Well, I really want to do this amount of work. What that amount of work is, I have no idea yet. I still have to figure it out, but I also need to be respectful of the people who are relying on me to go to work. I have to give them an answer sooner rather than later. I'm trying to figure that out, trying to be responsible as an employee of somebody who's taking care of our family very well, but then also trying to take the time to figure it out." While Bryan could simply make appearances for Raw or SmackDown, where would you like to see him go next? Former Intercontinental Champion Santino Marella has publicly reached out to Stephanie McMahon and Triple H about his daughter, writing, "Hi Triple H and Steph, remember my little daughter Bianca Corelli? Well, she's a woman now and has been coached since day one to be a total superstar. Biology degree is done this summer, then she's ready for her time to shine." This even led to an endorsement from Beth Phoenix, who wrote, "Corelli was cutting promos at 10 years old that blew us all away, ready to take on the world." Bianca responded, "Thank you so much, Beth. That means a lot. It also feels like it was yesterday." As Drew McIntyre has become a main event star and even being a former WWE champion, he talked on the Not Sam Wrestling podcast about how he's evolved. The more I was being myself, the more people started reacting to me. For the first time, I was getting these genuine reactions. The more I let them in, the more I talked as Drew Galloway, the real person. The more they responded, I said, okay, I'm more relaxed, I'm in the moment. Undertaker told me back in the day, stop playing the wrestler, be the wrestler. I'm finally being the wrestler. I'm being in the moment, I'm being present, and fans are responding. I'm so relaxed and being myself out there because I am. There are times, about when things change right up to the last second sometimes, with the interviews on the show. These days doesn't affect me at all. Back in the day, I would have a panic attack. I've seen actors in Hollywood or on shows who are handed scripts at the very last second. How can you learn this? Just go out there and go with the flow. You'll be fine, buddy. But I'm so confident to go out there and just do it within the confines of the story because I'm being myself, just with the volume turned up and within the storylines. With Wrestling Inc., Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics touched on WWE's recent Q1 earnings call and their deal with Fox, saying this about what President Nick Khan had to say. The biggest takeaway is the hype he added around the idea that Amazon and Apple might get into bidding for live sports rights. So I read that as a coded message to Fox. We're going to shop SmackDown somewhat aggressively when the deal comes up to be renegotiated. That'll probably start to be renegotiated late next year, 2022. And if previous rounds of negotiation are any indication, they'll announce the deal maybe the spring of 2023. So it sounds like Nick Khan is saying we're going to be really interested in negotiating and trying to get the best value possible for SmackDown. I think Raw stays with NBC Universal just because of how deep the relationship is between WWE and NBCU with Raw, NXT, and reality programming. But there's a good chance WWE will shop around SmackDown, and maybe it goes to Fox, but maybe it goes to Amazon or Apple, who are among the biggest companies and can certainly afford to pay a great deal if they're looking to invest further in their streaming services, Prime and Apple TV, to get ahead in this competitive space. And with Wrestling Inc., former WWE star Sin Cara, now going by Sin Today Oro, touched on WWE not using Latin American stars. I never wanted to get into this conversation, but I feel like we need to. It's true with everything that is going on in the world, the Latinos or Mexicanos can never really join forces to do something powerful. It's always been other people. You can see what's happened nowadays when the Black Lives Matter movement started. It was great to see all of them join together and do something positive for everybody, for the community. And when that happened, everybody in WWE was a champion, right? Bobby Lashley, New Day, all those guys. Which is great, they're good friends of mine and I love them, but what about us? We want a shot, we want an opportunity. You realize certain things. Now that Andrade asked for his release, they kept Santos Escobar as champion last week. Now they took the championship off him and they made Raquel Gonzalez a champion in NXT, which is great, I understand. But why do you have to wait until something like that happens to give an opportunity to the Latinos, to the Mexicanos? Because something negative came out about your company. It's very obvious and it's very sad for a lot of the boys that are there right now. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.